This is not Zelensky's victory plan. This is a misfortune plan for Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. All this is aimed at another extortion of money and the presentation of their terrorist capabilities.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy will now be taking his strategic victory plan to European Union and NATO meetings on Thursday, aiming to secure more military support and an invitation to join NATO. The plan, revealed to Ukraine's parliament earlier in the week, calls for measures Western allies have so far hesitated to endorse, including allowing Ukraine to strike deep into Russian territory using Western weapons.
Ukraine is proposing to the United States, along with designated partners, including the European Union, of which Ukraine will be a part, and other global partners, a special agreement for the joint protection of Ukraine's critical resources, shared investment, and utilization of its economic potential.
Zelenskyy presented the proposal at a pivotal moment, with Russian forces gaining ground in Ukraine's eastern regions and concerns rising over the upcoming winter's energy challenges. Additionally, uncertainty surrounding US support looms as the country approaches its presidential elections. Despite these concerns, Zelenskyy expressed optimism that his plan could lead to a resolution of the war by the end of next year. The Ukrainian leader brought his 5-point blueprint to Brussels, addressing both European Union leaders and NATO defense ministers. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte acknowledged Zelenskyy's plan as a significant step, but indicated that it would be premature to endorse it fully. Rutte stated that the alliance's 32 member countries would need to examine the plan carefully before reaching a consensus. While Rutte refrained from committing to specific aspects of the proposal, he affirmed NATO's continued support for Ukraine.
Just 2 weeks ago, I made my first official trip as Secretary General. The destination was Kyiv. There, I reaffirmed that NATO stands shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine now and into the future. We are working, and with urgency, to deliver a new NATO command to coordinate security assistance and training for Ukraine. More support to build Ukraine's future forces. A financial pledge of at least 40 billion euros of military aid within a year. And initiatives to support Ukraine on its irreversible path to NATO membership.
Zelenskyy's request for a formal NATO membership invitation remains one of the key elements of his plan. However, the alliance has made it clear that Ukraine cannot join while still engaged in active conflict with Russia, as this would directly involve NATO in the war. Nonetheless, Zelenskyy urged that an invitation to join NATO could be extended, even if formal membership is deferred until after the war ends.
An invitation for Ukraine to join NATO could become truly fundamental for peace. We understand that NATO membership is a matter of the future, not the present. But Putin must see that his geopolitical calculations have failed. The Russians must feel that their Tsar has lost geopolitically. I thank all our partners who support the idea that inviting Ukraine to NATO now, with membership later, strengthens everyone.
But the victory plan is not only about an invitation to become a member of NATO. The victory plan has more elements, as today President Zelenskyy has explained to his parliament. And obviously this is always part of a debate which is ongoing. What I have made clear in Kyiv is that ultimately NATO membership is the sovereign right to ask for every nation which is somehow part of our geography. And the only ones deciding on it are the 32 members already in NATO and the one country who wants to become a part of NATO. And Therefore, let there be no doubt that Putin or Russia have no vote on this, have no veto on this. This is really a discussion which is ongoing between us and Ukraine.
Russia, which has cited Ukraine's NATO aspirations as one of the reasons for its attack, dismissed the plan, with Kremlin officials urging Kyiv to sober up. Moscow remains skeptical of any potential NATO involvement and continues to see Ukraine's policies as futile.
This, of course, is not a plan at all. It is a set of incoherent slogans. It is bloody foam on the lips of a neo-Nazi killer. The so-called plan contains 5 points. Another hysteria about inviting Ukraine to NATO, which, from Zelensky's point of view, should become, as he said, evidence of determination and will show how partners see Ukraine in the security architecture. Well, I can tell Zelensky, if he is not aware, the partners of the Kiev regime have already demonstrated how they see Ukraine in the security architecture. They see Ukraine in a coffin and Ukrainian citizens in graves as well.
Another element of Zelensky's plan includes the creation of a strategic deterrence framework within Ukraine, designed to counter Russian military threats. The Ukrainian president did not provide further details on this proposed initiative, but underscored its importance for national security. Zelensky also proposed that Ukrainian forces could eventually replace some US troops in Europe, positioning Ukraine as a critical ally in regional security. Additionally, the plan offers the West opportunities to invest in Ukraine's natural mineral resources, a move aimed at strengthening both military and economic ties with Western nations.